In this video, we're going to find out which one is best, the Dyson V15 S-Detect Submarine or the Bosch Unlimited 7 ProHygienic Aqua. These are both 2-in-1 vacuum cleaners, meaning you can vacuum and you can mop. However, with the Dyson, you have a vacuum head and then you have to change it for the mop head. With the Bosch, you can vacuum and mop at the same time. Does this already put the Bosch ahead of the Dyson? Let's watch this video and find out. So let's start with what you actually get in the box. Let's go and have a look at the Bosch. So here you go. As you can see, this is your main unit just there. You then have the docking station. So this is to go on the wall. That's the clip that goes around it. And you've got your power supply that you can feed into there. So when it's on the wall, it can be charging. You've then got your 4 cleaning pads just there, and yet you can see I've actually used these 2 before. I have done a review specifically on this and actually the Dyson, so if you want to see them, I'll link them at the end of the video. We've then got some crevice tools. So you've got your short one just here, your long flexible one, and then you've got this 2-in-1 crevice tool with a hard small brush there, and pull it forward for the longer brushes. You've then got your dynamic aqua, the main tube, but it is a flexi tube. So if you press your button just here, it will bend, making it a lot easier to get under tables and furniture. And then your main vacuum head. Now, let's have a look at the Dyson. So here we go. And again, it does have a wall hanging dock where you can store your crevice tools and put the vacuum cleaner, and you can wrap your power cable in there. So again, it's on charge every time you hang it on the wall. Here is your main unit, just here. You can see we then have the main mopping part. This is why it's called the Dyson Submarine. And this is just to store it, like that. We then have 3 different heads. So you have this small anti-tangle screw head. You then have the fluffy optic. Wait till you see this in action. I have reviewed this before, and this is amazing. And then the last one is the anti-tangle comb, but the large one for all floor types. Then have the main pole and your 2 crevice tools. Your standard one there, and then your 2-in-1, just the same. It's only got 1 brush on it here. The Dyson had 1 up and 1 below. Push it forward, and you had your long brushes. So putting them both on the table, you can see that the Bosch does have an extra crevice tool, this long flexible one. However, the Dyson has 3 heads and the submarine mop part, where the Bosch just has 2 heads. One of the heads you can mop and vacuum at the same time. Now let's just touch on the batteries. They're actually both detachable, just like that, which is always good if you need a replacement battery. They do both only have 1 battery in the box. And the thing I love about the battery on the Bosch ones, they're interchangeable with all Bosch power tools. So if this dies and you've got another battery from Bosch lying around, you can just click it in and carry on vacuuming. I'm now going to measure the height of the vacuum cleaner. Why does that matter? Well, I'm 6'8" and I like a tall vacuum cleaner because I don't have to bend as far. So let's measure. Now we'll start with the Dyson. I have just put the main head on the Dyson, and I've done the same with the Bosch. So we'll measure to the handle where you're going to actually grip. So to just under here, where your fingers will be, you're looking at 106 centimeters right at the top part. Now with the Bosch, again, we'll measure to here, and that one is 114 centimeters. So the Bosch is a few centimeters taller than the Dyson. So the next thing I want to have a look at is the size of the dustbin. How much dust and dirt can you collect? You can see the maximum line on here is there, and on the Dyson it is there. So if I put them side by side, you can see the Dyson is quite a bit larger. Also, something that I think is really important is how do you empty the vacuum cleaners? You want it to be a nice simple process. So let's have a look. We'll start with the Bosch. You can see just there, it's got the eject button. So we'll press that. The whole canister comes off. So with the Bosch, a nice feature is that it's got this little section here. What you do, it's got tabs inside that hit onto the filter. So you actually spin this round. I think it's recommended 3 times. And what that's doing is releasing all the tiny particles of dust into the dustbin chamber. You can then pull this bit out You can see there's loads of fine dust in there. I know I haven't showed vacuuming yet, but this is just from a previous video. That's why there's still a little bit of mess in there. I will clean this up before I use it in a second. But the main dust and dirt will collect in this bit, and then you have to empty it like that, straight on to my floor. And you've got to reverse the process. So you've got to put that all back in, and then clip it up like that. So, took a while, but not too bad. So how do we empty the Dyson? Let me show you. This button just here. That's it. How quick and easy was that? I mean, you've all got to believe that that is way better than the way the Bosch is done. And because I showed you the filter on the Dyson, I've got to show you the filter on the Bosch. So it's at the back. So let's tear that open, and you've got a filter just here. And if you do get any dust on this back bit, you can clean that as well. So once we've undone that, you've got a little tab just here. It says number 1, hold that down and pull forward. You can now just clean this all off as well. And put it back, just like that. So earlier I touched on the lights from the vacuum cleaner, and I said that this one is amazing because it is, but let's put that to the test. So you can see I've just got them short at the minute, just because it's easier to hold up to show you. But if I turn the Bosch on, you can see they are very, very bright white lights, 6 of them. On the Dyson, now you've got to note that the Bosch was a general purpose all floor head. This one is only for hard floors, so your tiles and wood flooring, not for carpet. If you want your carpet, you're going to use this one here, which has no lights. Let's turn it on. So there you go, you can just see one green LED light. Maybe it doesn't look that impressive. Let's put it to the test. We're going to go and vacuum in a dark room with the lights on, so we can see how much dust we can see on the floor with the Bosch compared to the Dyson. I'm actually going to start with the dust that fell out of the vacuum cleaners that I was showing you a second ago. So we're going to start with the Bosch. I'm not going to actually vacuum it up, I just want to show you the dust. So you can see the dust quite well using the Bosch bright white lights. Now, let's compare that to the fluffy optic head from the Dyson. Now, I'm hoping it's showing up as well on the camera as it does for me in person, because there is no comparison. It shows up way, way better using the Dyson than it does the Bosch. So we're now in the bathroom. I've got the camera on the floor, and I'm just going to vacuum up some of the dirt that, yes, I have placed some of that there, and then I'll replace it down for the Dyson. So we're starting with the Bosch. Now, let's try the Dyson. So I've just emptied the same amount of dust onto the floor. Let's see how well we can see it and pick it up. So let me know what you think in the comments. Could you see the dust and dirt clearer with the optic light from Dyson or with the white lights from Bosch? So for me, I think the Dyson has it with the light. It's better, and you can see more dust, dirt, and especially hairs on the floor with the Dyson than you can the Bosch. However, you can only use this on hard floors. It's not for all floor types, where this is. Right, so I've got a nice long hallway. What I'm going to do is vacuum both of them up and see how much dust and dirt it collects. Let's go. And I'll go back up the hallway. So maybe not the most scientific ways of seeing how much dust and dirt these vacuum cleaners can pick up, but let's see how it did anyway. So there we go. Can you see just how much? The Dyson has absolutely loads in it, and the Bosch doesn't. I'm really surprised by this. Let's empty them out on the floor to see how much dust comes out. But before I do that, let me just show you one more feature the Bosch has. Can you see that little hook just there? That That's where you just want to rest it, you can do. The Dyson doesn't have that, so you could try and rest it, but it's just a little bit wobbly, where that is quite stable. So what we'll do, we'll empty the Dyson onto there and the Bosch onto there. Let's unclip that and simply empty the dust container and do the same with this. Eject, spin that round 3 times like it always suggests, and empty the dust out. That's absolutely crazy. There's way more that is picked up in the Dyson than what is picked up in the Bosch. Right, so the next tests, let's check out the mops. So for this test, I'm actually going to spill some Ribena on the floor so you can see when the vacuums go over it, how well it mops it up. I'd say that's roughly the same amount. So to put water in the Dyson submarine, you have to push this like this, slide it out, we'll just remove that, and you fill it up just here. So we'll undo that. And for this test, we're not going to use any detergents or anything like that, simply water. Now screwed back on. For the Bosch, you have an eject button just here. So we'll eject that, and this is your water container. We just lift the bung just here and fill it up. Like that. And click him back in. Now on here, we have a button that we press before we start vacuuming, just to allow water to come down onto the pads. Talking about pads, we better stick them on. So I'm using the dirty ones again. So here we go, Bosch versus Dyson. Stop, do not vacuum up water or juice with the Bosch. That's not what it's made for. There's no reservoir to collect the dirty water. The vacuum is there for dry dust and dirt, not really for liquids. So don't do this. This could ruin the machine. There was obviously far too much squash on the floor because it's all just leaked out of the Bosch. I'll pick the Dyson up, no spillage. Just want to make sure you're aware that this is an active roller, so as soon as I press the trigger, it starts spinning, which actually glides the mop along. Have a look. So I'm not pushing it forward, that's just doing it itself. Then I'm pulling it back. If I just let it go, look, it's doing it itself. Let me just show you where the dirty water is collected in the Dyson. So we'll just take this off, slide this out, and if you can see it, it's all collected in this part here. I'm going to empty it just to show you. When I did my review previously, I did mention that this isn't a self-contained tank. What does that mean? Well, if you kept mopping and there was lots of water or juice, it would overflow. So bear that in mind. Empty it regularly so you don't actually start overflowing. Right, let me show you emptying it. So here we go. I'll just take the roller off. You can see loads of dirt here that need to be cleaned off. And then we just tip it out. Like that. And I just want to clean it, so I will just run some cold water all around it. Try not to get too much on these bits just here. I do now just want to test in the bathroom how good this does pick up just dust, dirt, hairs whilst mopping the floor. Let's give it a go. And now I will put clean pads on. So here we go, I've got the brand new cleaning pads on there, and we'll just vacuum around here, see how much dust it can pick up whilst vacuuming the floor. So let's pick that up really easy. So remember, the 2-in-1 Dynamic Aqua, use it for picking up dry bits, don't vacuum up wet juice. Another thing to mention, I've just been testing these off camera because I wanted to clean the rest of my floor. The Dyson leaves the floor much more wet like a typical mop would. The Bosch doesn't leave it really wet at all, meaning you can kind of walk on it straight away without thinking you're going to slip over. Does that mean that doesn't clean as well? Or does it mean that the mop pads are just more absorbent? Okay, so the next test, I've put a tea bag of tea in each tile and a couple of teaspoons of coffee. What we're going to do on the Bosch one is going to have the mop vacuum cleaner head. On the Dyson, we're going to have the hard floor head. So as you can see, both did amazing job. Now with the Bosch, we've obviously washed the floor at the same time, so it is slightly damp, not very damp, but it is slightly. Now if you wanted to wash this floor, you'd now have to change the head and wash the floor. So the Bosch is saving you time. Now I'm going to do a very similar test, but with stains on the floor. So I'm going to mix some coffee up, spread it in, wait for it to dry, and some tea, maybe some juice, wait for that to dry, and then we'll vacuum it and mop it and see which one does the best job. So hopefully this is showing up okay. You can see we've got the mixed in coffee, the tea, and some squash. I've left that for about an hour to try and stain in a little bit to the tiles. Let's see how well they perform. Well, that is just with mopping it straight forward. You can see most of the squash is gone. There's some squash in the middle. Most of that is gone. Most of that is gone. The coffee, they've not handled as well. Obviously with mops, you do go over it a few times. So let's do that. I actually think these have performed both really well. If we get down, you can't really see any stain. There's some bits of coffee, maybe I didn't go over that properly. I would say that's good for both of them. Right, our next test is on carpet. We're going to get some ready brick, some porridge oats, and some tea bags. Obviously we'll split them open, scatter them on the floor, and see which one picks up the best. So we're using the all floor head on the Dyson and the all floor on the Bosch. And as you can hopefully see there, the only bits it hasn't picked up are the bits that I didn't actually go over. They both performed very well. So what else do you need to know about these vacuum cleaners? How about the runtime? So the Bosch is approximately 40 minutes maximum, and the Dyson is around 60 minutes at maximum, but that'll be on their eco modes. How about the price? Now the prices on these machines can vary by around £100, but currently, January 2025, the Bosch is £499 and the Dyson is £799. Now there may be some other things you want to know about these machines or some other tests that you want me to do. If you do, put it in the comments and I'll do another video just for you, whether that's just a YouTube short or a full video, but please let me know in the comments. Now I'm going to have to make a decision on which one I like the best. And it is quite a difficult decision because they are not the same product. I'm putting them head to head because I'm selling them both in my shop at Wade's Ramsey, Cambridgeshire. The Dyson is more of your traditional mop because it can actually suck up some water, though not a huge amount because it's only got a small tank with no lid. So if you took too much water up, it will just start overflowing. The Bosch can't take any liquid, so make sure you don't vacuum any up. With the Bosch, you can vacuum, dry, dust and dirt, and mop at the same time, saving you time. You don't have to then vacuum, change the head, and then mop. But the Dyson does leave it more wet, like a traditional mop. The Bosch is a lot more dry. But on the test where we had the stained floor, they both performed, I would say, identically. So let's think about these appliances. The Dyson, you've got 3 floor heads plus the actual mop. On the Bosch, you've got your one main floor and then the vacuum and mop all in one, which if you want it just to vacuum up, dry, dust and dirt and mop at the same time, that is a time saver. It's also got the flexi pipe so you can get under your furniture easier. I know I didn't show that, but I did show it on my actual review of the Bosch. The link will be in the description of the video. I've just had a slight interruption to the filming. My kids came back and started having some chocolate cake, spilled the chocolate cake on the floor. Unfortunately, I didn't get them sweeping and clearing up the chocolate cake, but here's them having a little play about with the vacuum cleaners. You guys just had some chocolate cake, didn't you? And you spilled it on the floor. And you're sweeping it up for Daddy. And cleaning it up at the same time.
With that brush and a pan.
Yeah? No, with that. Is that a good job? You can do that one as well then, but you have to keep the trigger held in, don't you? So which one do you like the best?
This one.
Why do you like that the best?
Because I like it
Faster. Oh, careful, Wadey. That's heavy. Good boy. So the trigger or switch is a really important feature as well. With the Dyson, it's got the trigger, you've got to keep your finger held down. And with the Bosch, you've got the switch. You can just put it on and then carry on vacuuming. On the battery runtime, the Dyson does have it. It is slightly longer than the Bosch. What I didn't show on the Dyson, let me grab it now. It has this LCD screen where you can actually see in real time how long you've got left, the performance of the machine, and you can select what mode you want, whether you want it on boost, medium, or eco. On the Bosch, you've got your little switch where you can go from eco, turbo, and auto. I'm thinking back to one of the tests where we vacuumed up the hallway. The Dyson seemed to get loads more dirt in its container, and it does have a larger bin for all that dust and dirt. So let's get straight down to it. Which one is best? I guess it depends what you're actually looking for. If you want to save time and you've got lots of hard floors, then the Bosch is going to be the one. Just remember, you can't suck up any liquid. If you want it for more of a traditional mop, then you're going to go with the Dyson. What would I go for? Now that's really tricky. £799 for a Dyson is a lot of money. If you're a Dyson lover, then yes, you're going to go for the Dyson. It's a great machine. As the vacuum cleaner, it's flawless. It's really good. I think the mop part needs improving a little bit. Make the dirty water container slightly bigger and have it sealed with maybe a button to say, look, I'm full, empty me. The Bosch, I hate the price, what they do. Sometimes it's $4.99, which it is now, but tomorrow it could be $3.99. If you're bought it for the higher price, then it goes down. That's really annoying. Having said that, I would pay $3.99 for the Bosch. I really like it. So in conclusion, I would choose the Bosch. This may be down to the price. When it's at $3.99, that's half price of the Dyson. Is the Dyson twice as good? No, not in my opinion. Have you got one? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. If this video has been helpful, please do subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. If you want to watch one of the other review videos, I'll leave them on the screen right now.